Namaste, everybody. The divine in me honors the divine in you. My name is Rishi, and I'm going to read to you, ladies and gentlemen, a journal entry I wrote a while back, pertaining to my life. I hope you enjoy it and learn something new, and I hope it helps you understand me better, and hopefully it helps you in your life if you have dealt or you know anyone who has dealt with similar things. So here we go. My journal entry is titled Prophet Psychosis, Psychedelics, and Enlightenment. I'm going to try to tell my story from my perspective with honesty, clarity, and reflection. When I was in university, I had many sacred experiences and revelations which changed and transformed my perspective and goals in life. Some of them happened by partying and meeting people, experimenting with plant and psychedelic medicine, and becoming more spiritually awakened in the process. I used to be an atheist in middle school, but I just had a lot of both subjective, meaningful, and objective, logical experiences and realizations that made me believe and conclude that there was a higher power. I realized that there had to be a source of energy from which everything originated from, and that the laws of physics were too complex for there not to be a higher intelligent designer. It takes a lot more faith to believe that everything came from nothing than to believe that there's a higher power or higher powers at work behind the universe. Experimenting with psychedelics reinforced my belief in a higher power because it removes your ego and makes you face both your light and your shadow. I no longer use psychedelics, but it was very medicinal and mind opening for me. I realized that I was not here just to survive. I was also here to help myself thrive and help others reach the light. I was here to embody and practice peace, love, unity, and respect to all of God's creation and to serve God. I was here for a divine purpose, I thought. I was here to love, learn as much as possible, experience the light, goodness, and enjoyments of the world, and experience and learn from the hard times, as well as to help others spiritually awaken and grow. As I was having all of these priceless realizations, experiences, and memories, I lost interest in university. I lost interest in my major, even though I found some classes fascinating. I wanted to focus on God consciousness, awakening, enlightenment, and self realization. I wanted to be a spiritual teacher, which there wasn't a degree for. I wanted to help others find spiritual fulfillment, true love, meaning, purpose, and happiness, which can only be found with the higher power. Since I lost interest in school, I was referred to a psychiatrist. I was diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder, a form of psychosis. I got this diagnosis because I supposedly had delusional beliefs and a mood disorder, which I do agree with the doctor that I had imbalanced moods at the time. But I got diagnosed with delusional beliefs according to him and Western psychiatry. My beliefs were that I was self-realized and God-realized, and I was an enlightened prophet possessed by God, Goddess, and the Source. I had an abrupt Kundalini awakening, which is the serpent-like spiritual energy that travels from the base of the spine, ascending up to your chakras, until it merges with divine universal consciousness. Even though I knew I wasn't, and still am not perfect, I believed I was what the Buddhists call a bodhisattva, an awakened being who helps others awaken by practicing love, wisdom, and compassion. This was all considered psychotic and delusional in Western psychiatry, and thus I had to spend several months in a mental institution. Kind of sad part of my life, but I'm over it now. Eventually, I got discharged, and I live a normal life now. I now argue that enlightenment is a form of psychosis according to Western psychiatry, for it is a subjective experience where one enters into a new reality of harmony, sacred divine consciousness, and oneness. Psychosis just means loss of contact with reality. But what is reality, if I may ask? Isn't it logical to believe in science but also realize that there is a mystery and an original cause of reality and existence? The ultimate goal of yoga is not fitness, but to link and have union with the ultimate reality, the source, Brahman, Godhead, universal consciousness, Nirvana, Allah, Yahweh, Christ, Devi, Shiva, Krishna consciousness, Tao, etc., whatever name or form you wish to envision the Godhead. An enlightened person can seem insane to some, for they have escaped the illusion and matrix system that the rest of humans are puppets and slaves to. Enlightenment is ineffable and beyond words, and one doesn't have to be bound by any religious institution, laws, or scriptures. God can shower his or her mercy on anyone, and even in the most flawed sinners. Enlightenment is such an otherworldly, subjective experience that it can easily be mistaken as a break from conventional reality and labeled as psychosis. Anyone and everyone has the ability to become awakened, for the seed of Buddhahood, soul, consciousness, and self, Atman, and divinity resides within us all. At least that is the way I see it. I just want to live a meaningful, purposeful, passionate, peaceful, and enjoyable life now these days, where I can love, learn, and serve God and others to the best of my ability. So, am I enlightened or a psychotic madman? Maybe a little bit of both or neither. Everyone has a different perception of me, and I see divinity or God in everyone. There are lots of people who see me as completely sane, even sane. Even if I am a bit mad, let me tell you a secret I learned from Alice in Wonderland. All the best and most successful people are a bit mad to some degree. So yeah, thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening to my story and understanding me better. Sending you all love, peace, and light. Sincerely, Rishi. So thank you so much for listening to my journal entry. I hope it helps you understand me better, and even better if it can be a positive influence in your or a loved one's life who has dealt with similar uh, problems, issues, and awakenings. So, sending you all love, peace, and light. Namaste. The divine in me bows down to the divine in you. And thank you so much for listening. One love.